Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a first impressions video. If you have not seen my most recent haul, I suggest going and checking that out. Everything that I picked up in that video, or mostly everything I picked up in that video, is what we are going to be trying out today. I'm so excited. I have a bunch of new stuff. I can't wait to sink my claws into it. So if you're interested in seeing a nice first impressions makeup tutorial, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so my eyes have been primed. I use my MAC Painterly paint pot like I normally do, and we're going to begin with eyes today. I'm going to take this Lime Crime Prelude Exposed palette. I am the most excited about this product, I think, because it's just so gorgeous, and it's a brand that I've never tried before, so there's a lot riding on this little palette right here. I think I'm going to start with this flesh shade right here. It is just a very soft orangey brown nude shade, and I'm going to take it on this Pro Fusion ES3, this pointed eyeshadow crease brush. Okay, what the heck? There's no kickback. I like dug my brush into that shade. You see it? What the heck? And it's transferring onto the brush. Like, it's not like there's nothing coming off. So I'm going to focus this in the crease. Hopefully it's not like there's no kickback because there's no pigment. Hopefully it's just a really well-made eyeshadow. So it's not too dark. Like, I don't even think the camera's picking it up, but it is on there. Bringing it up pretty high, but I'm focusing it more towards like the outer half of my eye, just because I want to keep the inner corner of my eye pretty bare until I add a nice light color. Keeping it light in there really helps to lift and like elongate my eyes. So far so good. I mean, no complaints yet. I'm actually not even patting my brush off before I go in on my eye because I don't feel like it's necessary, which is a crazy concept to me. You know, it's not like there's too much on the brush. At least with this one shade, I mean, it's hard to go overboard. It's so forgiving and so blendable. Once that flesh shade is built up, I'm gonna go in with this nude color right here, which is like the second darkest after that flesh shade. It's a very nice brown color. Not too brown, but a very nice middle of the road. Yeah, see, this one has kickback. I don't know if you can tell. So I'm going to focus this just in the outer corner, and I'm kind of going to go from like my lash line out in like a diagonal formation, just because that really helps to lift my eyes. So I'm going to take it and pat it first. I'm not going to bring it above the flesh shade that we laid down. I'm going to bring it right up to it and then blend outward. Just because I want that flesh shade to be the outer perimeter, like, diffusing shade. Pretty. This is blending very easily into the first color that we used. But I want to see if I can, like, really build it up. It's very blendable, which I do appreciate, but I'm hoping it's not, like, too blendable to the point where you just kind of blend it away, you know? I'm not bringing this too far in. I'm just bringing it into, like, the outer third. It's like seamless. In the viewfinder, it looks a little bit more darker, but in real life, the shadows are like seamless. I've never had an eyeshadow pretty much do all the work for me like this eyeshadow is doing. I'm gonna go in again with this brush and the flesh shade that we used just to add a little bit more in the outer corner. I feel like I might have lost it a little bit, so I'm just gonna go in and add some more. And I'm actually gonna bring it on the lid too, just to further help blend out that nude shade. I feel like anyone can use this palette. Anyone can use any palette, but I feel like this one really, it totally doesn't matter what stage in your makeup game you're in. Like, you can use it if you're a beginner, you can use it if you're a pro. This palette's really gonna work for anyone that puts their hands on it. So I'm gonna go in with this Immortal shade, which is the darkest in the palette, and I'm gonna put this in like the outer corner, like ever so lightly, just to deepen it up a little bit more. To do that, I'm gonna take this Pro Fusion ES6 small pointed eyeshadow. I've been loving this brush. It's like in between this Morphe 506 brush and a pencil brush. Like, it's the perfect in between of those two brushes. I've been loving it. I have nothing like it in my collection. So I'm going to take quite a bit of the Immortal shade, and then starting from like the lash line, I'm going to pull out and blend in. Always remember to keep your eye open. I'm going to go in with some nude and pull that out as well. And then I'm going to go in with flesh again. Really pulling this eyeshadow out so that I can lift my eye. So seamless. Like, these shadows are so freaking seamless. I am astonished. I really am. I'm super, super impressed. I'm going to go in on the other side as well. I am going to be cleaning up the edges, so I'm not worrying too much about like how even it is or how messy it is on the outer corner, just because it's all gonna get cleaned up. I'm so excited though because it looks so freaking good. All right, I think I'm gonna go in with the lightest color now. I'm gonna take Virgin right here, which is not a shimmer, but it's definitely not matte. I'm gonna take this on the inner corner to really brighten everything up. I'm gonna use this Morphe M421, just a nice flat paddle brush, and we're gonna pack this on, really pack it on. It's very light, which is what I was going for. The pigment is there. Let's see if it's just as blendable as the other ones. Gonna take this brush with the flesh color again, just to mesh into the Virgin shade. It is quite pink, which in the palette it looks pink. I was wondering if it was gonna come off as like white, but it's pretty pink on the lid as well. Packs a mean punch, this shadow. That is like a good opaque bright color. No patchiness, and it's blendable, which you can't beat. All right, I think I'm gonna leave the eye look here just because I really like the way that it looks, and I don't think I need to fix anything else. I'm gonna hop off camera though, and I'm going to do my liner and my mascara. I'm also going to clean up the edges, so I'm going to go do that right now, and I'll be back in a second and we can keep on chugging along with this makeup tutorial. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so eyes are done. I'm loving the way that they look. That eyeshadow palette is chef's kiss. I'm excited to try the other shades that are in there in another video, but the ones that I used today are muy bien. We're gonna move on to base now. I am gonna prime with this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer just because I'm feeling it today. I haven't been priming my face, but we're trying a new foundation and I feel like I want to give it a fair shot. So we're just gonna do a little bit of Power Grip. It makes you so tacky. Really feels like a paint primer, you know, like something that like is not used on a face. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what makes your makeup last for so long. So the foundation I'm going to be taking is the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Foundation. Mine is in the shade F7. I'm hoping that the shade is going to be good because it's so hard to pick a shade online. Even when you go in the store, it's hard to pick a shade. Like, it's really hard to get one that's perfectly gonna match you. I'm going to use a sponge with this foundation. This is just the e.l.f. sponge. You can use whatever you have on hand. I'm gonna put this on a palette, like the one that I normally use, just because like I normally would put it on just like directly on my face, but recently I feel like that's been causing like blending issues for my foundation. So I'm just gonna do it this way and hope for the best. This is what it looks like. It's pretty thick. I'm thinking it's gonna be a good shade. It's a good thing that I'm not super self-tanned right now because yeah, this is light. Like, it's gonna match the phase that my self-tan is in right now, but I feel like if I was any darker, like if I was freshly self-tan, this wouldn't work. I have a bit of a rash on my face just from the sun. What I normally get, just a minor one, but it is covering it up. It doesn't look great, but that's just because of my texture, but it is covering it up. I opted for a sponge with this just because I used to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation, and I loved the way it looked with a sponge. So I thought, you know what, maybe this will be like the same formula. And I also saw how thick it was when I put it onto the palette and decided maybe a sponge. If it was super thin, I feel like I would have used a brush, but since it is thick, I kind of wanted to thin it out. On the viewfinder, it looks good. In person, it is pretty thick. And you can see how thick it is. Now I am gonna let it like settle into the skin a little bit more before I give you a final opinion. And before I decide if you should pick it up, I want to see if it's gonna be able to hold everything else that I put on top, like cream contour, blush, bronzer, powders, all that stuff. But off the bat, it's looking pretty cakey. But then again, you know, I haven't given it any time, so we'll come back to it. All right, the next thing that I picked up that I'm gonna use is this Milani Liquid Contour Conceal and Perfect in the shade Ginger 02. This kind of looks like a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury cream contour. It's kind of like this same shape, like same little sponge applicator on the end. I don't know if anything can really be a dupe for that because it's so good and it has everyone in this chokehold. But I have high hopes for this. I'm not sure if I love the applicator. I'm gonna like put some on the palette first. So that's what it looks like. It's very cool, which is good for a cream contour, but I'm gonna go in and just do that much. I'm gonna take my Luxie Small Contouring 512 and I'm gonna pat this in and blend up. I don't know like how quickly this sets, so I don't know if I gotta be quick with this. So it's very warm. I was totally wrong. This is not so much a cool cream contour. It's a bit warmer than I would go for. That looks really good though. I do recommend putting it like on the back of your hand first and then going in with it, just so you can have a little bit more control over how much is applied. Oh, look, see, I'm getting a crease up here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side as well. That looks amazing. Why would I use my left hand? So I'm just gonna put that much. I don't want to go overboard. I'm using a very small amount because I'm scared. And I started really high up, like not really where the actual contours of my cheeks are, because I know I'm gonna have to blend this out, and if I started it right where the natural contour was, I'd go like below it when I blended it out. So this isn't one that you want to like pat in, it's definitely one you want to blend. You know how I have a few cream contours that I prefer to just pat into the skin? This is not one of them. This is one that you definitely want to blend out, but it looks really good. This is always where I have a problem blending out cream contour, just because I have a lot of texture there and things can get patchy. So I'm just gonna take my sponge and go over right here and underneath just to kind of clean up, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. This really helps to make it look super blended. All right, so far so good. The foundation really held on, you know, even though I did a lot of blending on top of it, and it didn't lift, which sometimes I have a problem with foundations. This looks really good. I am gonna take what I put on the palette and just hit my forehead. Like, I'm just gonna go from the palette to my brush rather than with the applicator, because I want to see how it performs this way. Like the actual product. That's really nice. Really blendable and really dark, but definitely easy cleanup. That's stunning. It's definitely blendable, but I feel like it sets pretty quickly, which is, it's good that it sets and that it doesn't like stay like slick and able to be moved around, but it does mean that you gotta be kind of quick with it, you know? I do still have to conceal and stuff, so we're gonna see how the concealer is gonna look on top of it. I haven't had anything to complain about yet in this first impressions, which is always a good sign. All right, so we're gonna move on to concealer. I don't have anything new for concealer. I did pick up a new concealer in this haul, but I did a whole separate video on that. You can go ahead and check it out up here if you want. I'll leave a link for it. Today we're just gonna use the NYX Bear With Me concealer. Fantastic concealer. I know how it's gonna perform, so it's not gonna ruin like everything else that I'm testing out today. So I'm just gonna go under the eyes with this. This is in the shade Vanilla, and I'm going to use my fingers. That's what I find is the easiest for this, and if anything, I'll take my sponge to help blend it out. And it's blending really nicely into that cream contour that I put down, the Milani one, and it looks nice on top of the foundation. Alright, we're going to go ahead and set everything. Just because I don't have a cream blush that I picked up, we're just going to go in with a powder blush. Gonna take what I always take, my one size setting powder, and I'm going to use a little powder puff like I always do. We're going to set under the eyes and down the center of the face. Everywhere that I put that concealer, that NYX concealer, is where we're gonna set. It's hard to get like an accurate reading on this foundation because, like I said, I have a bit of a rash right here, so I'm seeing a lot more texture than I normally have. But so far, it's looking all right. It's withstanding the stuff that I'm putting on top of it, which I'm impressed by. I'm gonna take whatever is left over in the cap and use this giant Real Techniques brush and kind of just set everywhere, just because I don't know what this foundation is like, and I'd rather set everything than like screw what I've done up. I'm gonna go in with another new product. This is a Morphe bronzer. It is the Velvet Matte Pressed Powder in the shade Tropical Tan. Now I'm a little bit nervous about this bronzer because it does look very dark, and the shade that was lighter than this one was so much lighter that I didn't think it would work on me. So I got the darker of the two, and I'm a bit nervous, but we're gonna just go right in. I'm going to take the Morphe M530 brush that I use all the time for bronzer. I'm going to go above where I put the cream contour and just bronze up a little bit. I'm like patting off the excess on the back of my hand before I go in on my face, just to get off the excess so that I don't deposit too much pigment in one spot. Definitely really dark, but I think I can make it work. I feel like on a darker foundation, this might be a little bit easier to work with, but since this one that I got is so light, it's looking a bit darker. Not bad, not bad. I am gonna go in with blush now too. I have a new blush. This is the Lottie blush in the shade Exposed. It's very pink. very like poppy pink, which is what I was looking for. So I'm excited to see how this looks on the face because it looks really pretty in the package. It's looking more purple on camera, but it is a very true Barbie pink. I'm gonna take this little Profusion angled brush and I'm going to pack this on, focusing it out here first, and I'm gonna mix it into the bronzer that we put down so that there's no like seams. Definitely a blush you have to build up, but once you do, that's very pretty. Really patting it in so that I can get the most out of it. I don't have a blush like this in my collection, like color wise. I've also never tried Lottie before, so this is like the first product I've used by them. So far, so good. There is a bit of like shimmer in here, like it's definitely not a matte blush, but it's not emphasizing any texture on my face. I can see some shimmer though. If you're not into shimmer blushes, I don't think that you'd like this. Alright, so before I hop off camera and do my brows and lashes, we're gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line. I'm gonna take the darkest shade that we used, which is this Immortal shade right here, on just a like flat like shader brush. I don't even know what to call this. And I'm gonna shove this into the lash line. I'm only bringing this like halfway in because I want to keep the inner corner very light. Then I'm gonna take the nude shade that we used with the Morphe M506 and I'm going to blend out that Immortal shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off camera now, do my brows and my lashes, and then I'm gonna come back and we can finish this up with a new lip that I wanna try out. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alright you guys, brows and lashes are done. I forgot to mention that I also got a new brow pencil. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Blonde, and this may very well be my favorite thing that I've picked up. This made my brows look so good. These are like the best that my brows have ever looked. Like it's so easy to fill in where I need my brows filled in. It's so creamy. It's just so easy to work with. If you're a beginner, definitely recommend this product. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do lips now. I have a new product. This is the Flower Beauty Perfect Pout Soft Matte Lip Color in the shade Blush. It's very like pinky. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too pink for this eye look, but we're gonna go ahead and try it out anyway. If anything, I'll lighten it up with another lipstick. I'm gonna start off with my Wherever Walnut Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. I don't know if this is gonna be dark enough for the lipstick, but I feel like this is a good starting point. Then we're gonna go in with the actual lip color. Like I said, this is from Flower Beauty, which is Drew Barrymore's line, and I'm hoping. Okay, so this is more of like a lip stain than a lipstick. It's very sheer. However, it is buildable, which is good, and it's super comfortable. I'm wondering if it's gonna dry down or if it's like not a matte lipstick, so I'm curious to see how it's gonna dry down. I'm gonna go in with a second lip pencil though. This is the Artist Color Pencil in Endless Cacao. You guys know I use this all the time to do lip flips, which means I'm just gonna take it in the Cupid's bow and down the center of the bottom lip. It's a really pretty shade, this lip color. It's definitely not matte and it's definitely not transfer proof. It's really nice. However, I want to kind of change the shade a little bit for this look because I feel like this is a little too pink. I'm gonna go in with this Morphe Virgin Liquid Lipstick. I've been loving using this. It's very light, and I'm gonna go right here to kind of lighten this. Yeah, that's really nice. I'm not gonna add any gloss because I'm into the way this looks right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the final step of all my tutorials, which is just to bring back my little birthmark right here. I am gonna be using my one size gel liner pencil, which I use all the time, and there we have it. All right, you guys, so this is the final look. Quick little rundown of everything that we used. My favorite has to be this Prelude Lime Crime palette. These shadows are so stunning. I can't wait to try out more of them. This NYX Micro Brow Pencil is coming in second. It is so good. I love these two, the cream contour and the blush. I'm not sure if I'd purchase them again, but I do love the way that they look on my skin and the way that they perform. This Morphe bronzer, I'm definitely gonna have to play with a little bit more. I can't tell if I love it or not, so I'm gonna have to test that out. Same with this foundation. I don't know if I love it yet. I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit more. I think for the price that I paid, it's a good product, but I don't love it yet. you know. This lip product by Flower is very good. I wish it was a little bit more matte, but it is what it is, you know. I can mess around with it. It's definitely a good base lip color to add more stuff onto, because you know I never just use one lip product, so gonna have to use it a little bit more to see how I feel about it. And I think that's everything, right? I think that's all the new stuff that I tried out. So if you did enjoy the video, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure, if you are not already, that you are subscribed to my channel and that you hit the little bell so that you are always notified when I upload a new video. Go ahead and let me know what your favorite product was that I tried, what you are excited to pick up, what you have been eyeing from Ulta. I would love to know. And I think that's it for today, you guys. I hope that you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next one.